If you use the power of your own mind, the world stops being a prison and starts being a canvas. Your voice loses the tremor of hesitation. Your posture reflects a man who has finally stopped asking for directions from people who are just as lost as he is. This is not a lesson. This is a summons. If you are hearing this now, it is because something in you is ready to rise. You have waited long enough. The silence you feel, the restlessness inside you, it is not confusion. It is a call, a divine order echoing from within, commanding you to stop living like you were forgotten. You were not made to shrink. You were not placed here to drift. You were sent. And the one who sent you does not apologize for power. This is a mental breakthrough based on the deep revelations of the law of success. If you've forgotten who you are, this will remind you. Because the moment you believe this truth, you will no longer walk as a man waiting for permission. You will walk as one who was sent. You have walked long enough, pretending to be less than what you were sent to become. You have bowed long enough to fear. You have hesitated long enough in the shadow of doubt. But now, the voice of purpose calls to you. What I am about to give you is not motivation. It is law. It is instruction. It is the truth of who you are beneath the story, beneath the excuses, beneath the hesitation that the world has taught you to wear. You were not made small. You were not sent here to drift. You were not placed on this earth to survive. You were sent with power. You were sent with command. You were sent with infinite intelligence written into your spirit. And yet, most men live like intruders in their own life. They apologize for wanting more. They hide their fire. They speak with hesitation, act with delay, and wait to be approved before they move. Not because they lack ability, but because they have forgotten who sent them. And the world prefers it that way. Because the man who walks as if God is within him, that man cannot be controlled. When a man begins to think as if heaven lives inside him, he becomes ungovernable by weakness. He no longer listens to the noise. He no longer waits for support. He no longer serves fear. He begins to walk differently, speak differently, build differently. Infinite intelligence is not far off. It is not hiding. It is not waiting in the clouds. It is within you. But it will not move until you do. When you carry yourself as if heaven has given you a task, everything begins to change. There is a law that governs the rise of every man. You must walk as if heaven sent you, not with arrogance, but with divine authority. You must live not as a question, but as a command. This is not fantasy. This is your assignment. Do not say you are too flawed. Every man that achieved greatness was flawed. Do not say you are too late. The eternal does not wait on time. Obedience has never required comfort. It only requires alignment. And once you align, the resources appear. The power flows. The opportunities arrive. Not because the world has changed, but because you did. Consider the law of hypnotic rhythm. This is the invisible force that makes any habit permanent. If you drift in thought, the rhythm of the world will lock you into failure. If you think of poverty, the rhythm will bring you lack. If you think of fear, the rhythm will bring you paralysis. The universe does not argue with your dominant thoughts. It simply obeys them. To use the power of your own mind is to interrupt the hypnotic rhythm of the crowd. It is to say that you refuse to be a slave to circumstances. The man who uses his own mind creates his own rhythm. A rhythm of power. A rhythm of achievement. A rhythm of divine order. Most men live as if they were never meant to live at all. They move through the day with hesitation in their breath. They walk lightly, as if trying not to disturb a world that has already forgotten them. They wait for permission to rise. They wait for approval to pursue what was placed inside of them before they were born. But the man who walks as if he was sent, that man does not wait. He does not wander. He does not beg. He does not ask the world to accept his fire. He walks with it because he knows it was not given by the world. It was given by the source of all creation. Failure is not your nature. Failure is the result of disobedience to purpose. When a man walks in contradiction to his purpose, when he hears the call but chooses comfort, when he senses the fire but clings to fear, he must fail. Not because he is cursed, but because he is out of alignment with his assignment. Action confirms belief. Waiting denies it. If you say you believe, but refuse to move, your subconscious records that contradiction. And because it does not argue, it simply obeys. You begin to shrink. You begin to hesitate more. But the man who moves, even while afraid, even while uncertain, begins to multiply his own strength, because movement attracts power. Boldness activates response. Heaven honors the man who honors the purpose, by walking in it. Look at Thomas Edison. He did not wait for the perfect design. He did not demand certainty. He simply believed in what he saw in his mind. And because he believed, he acted. Over 10,000 failed attempts. But every time he moved, every time he worked, he was confirming belief. Eventually, vision became invention. Imagination became history. You are no different. You carry within you the power of creation. You are not waiting for a miracle. You are the miracle when you begin to move. The world yields to the man who does not wait. It watches the one who does not hesitate. It responds to the man who moves with conviction. You must now become that man. The one who walks forward even when the path is unclear. The one who builds before he sees the reward. The one who trusts the voice within more than the noise outside. You cannot carry divine power with a divided mind. You cannot walk in authority while entertaining every fear. The man who has been sent must protect his thought with intensity, because thought is the seat of authority. If your thought is polluted, your actions will betray you. Most men do not fall because of failure. They fall because their thinking was unguarded. They permit every doubt to speak. They open the gates of their inner world to the noise of the outer world, and wonder why their power fades. But the man who walks as if the voice of infinite intelligence speaks through him does not treat his thought casually. He disciplines it. He commands it. Controlled attention is the bridge between the unseen and achievement. If your mind is open to every fear, then purpose cannot speak clearly. You must ask yourself, does this thought honor the call that lives within me? If yes, then you think it, you speak it, you obey it. If no, it is removed and replaced. No argument, no explanation. You are not here to negotiate with limitation. Look at John D. Rockefeller. During financial panics, while others collapsed under fear, he remained focused and controlled. He did not absorb the panic. He did not let headlines rewrite his aim. While the world screamed, he listened only to his purpose. His results were inevitable because his attention was disciplined. He did not have more luck. He had more focus. You must now become that man. A man whose thoughts are directed, not reactive. Rehearsed, not impulsive. Your mind is the channel through which power will act. The man who has been sent cannot speak the language of hesitation. He cannot dilute his command with the vocabulary of fear. Every time you speak, you instruct the subconscious. And the subconscious obeys whatever is spoken with emotion and repetition. This is the law of autosuggestion. It works whether you are aware of it or not. The subconscious does not evaluate truth or lies. It only asks, have I heard this often enough? Was it spoken with belief? If you speak doubt, you instruct weakness. If you speak command, you activate power. Most men fail because their words do not match their aim. They say they hope, and the subconscious obeys hesitation. They say they will try, and the subconscious receives permission to retreat. But the man who walks with purpose speaks differently. He does not wish, he instructs. He does not explain. He affirms. His words carry the tone of decision. Charles Schwab began as a mill worker and rose to lead empires because his words carried conviction. When he spoke, men listened because of his certainty. He did not rise through status. He rose through speech. He did not wait to become powerful. He spoke as one who already was, and the world adjusted accordingly. You must do the same. Your words must match the man you are becoming. A confused subconscious produces nothing. It stalls, it hesitates. But a subconscious that hears clear instruction daily becomes obedient. You are being watched, not by critics, but by the very force that placed you here. Every movement you make is a reflection of what you believe about who you are. The man who cuts corners when no one is looking will always remain small. Not because the world rejects him, but because he has disrespected his own purpose. Discipline is not about effort. Discipline is about reverence. It is about doing what is right with fire, because you know that the power within you is present in every moment. Every act is an offering. Every word is a prayer. The way you show up for the smallest task is evidence of your alignment. When a man forgets who he is, he begins to compromise in silence. He chooses casualness over reverence. But you were not sent here to seek applause. You were sent here to act as if heaven itself was the audience. The man who acts with excellence in the unseen becomes the man the world cannot ignore. Henry Ford declared he would build the impossible. Experts told him it could not be done. But Ford did not waver. He did not adjust his belief to suit their facts. He treated his decision as a divine command. He obeyed the voice within, not the voices around him. Reality bent, the impossible bowed. A new world was born. Not because he was lucky, but because he moved with reverence toward his instruction. That is now your standard. Every task must be done as if the source of life is watching. The world yields to the man who believes he was sent. He does not ask for space. Space is made for him. One man walks into a room, and the room shrinks him. Another walks in, and the room adjusts. This is not charisma. It is inner conviction. The inner belief of a man determines how the outer world treats him. When your identity is anchored in purpose, you become immovable. You are not seeking, you are executing. Faith creates atmosphere. Discipline creates credibility. Repetition creates inevitability. Because the man who believes he was sent carries no apology. His energy is decisive. When a man is consistent, the world begins to trust his voice. He says what he means. He finishes what he begins. He does not start and stop with every mood. And no matter how long it takes, the man who repeats the law of his purpose cannot be stopped. He may be delayed, but he is never denied. Andrew Carnegie was not born into riches. He had no great inheritance, but he walked as if he had been chosen to achieve something larger than life. He did not wait to feel worthy. He acted as if he already was. That belief shaped every habit and relationship. He moved in faith, he built in silence, and the world, slowly, then suddenly, obeyed him. You are already authorized. Your vision is evidence of your assignment. You were not born to blend in. You were born to become. Transformation is the byproduct of repeated obedience. You do not become powerful by hoping. You become powerful by building. And building requires a blueprint, a script written by you, repeated by you, and proven by you. You must replace drift with devotion. Every hour is holy. Your new identity must be rehearsed like law. This is the daily death of the old self and the resurrection of the builder you were born to be. Remind your subconscious every morning what it serves. The mind left to default returns to smallness. But the mind, directed with clarity, aligns its energy to your command. Speak your identity aloud until your spirit bends to its sound. I am the man who was sent. I build with order. I speak with purpose. I walk as one chosen. I finish what I begin. Say it with authority. Do not say it as if you are convincing yourself. Say it as if it is already done. Take action in alignment. You must prove who you are daily. Identity is reinforced in what you confirm through behavior. Do not wait for the perfect task. Move forward in whatever you can do today to validate your script. Whether it is a decision or a small act, prove the identity. When you document your wins, your mind recognizes the change. You realize that you have become what you declared. Abraham Lincoln lived by invisible law long before he wore a title. He repeated principles daily. He did not wait for an office to act with honor. He practiced the voice of a leader until the world could no longer ignore him. When the world finally gave him the title, he had already become the man. You were not practicing for someday. You were proving daily who you have already decided to be. The subconscious only obeys what you say repeatedly with belief. When words and actions align, you build certainty. And certainty is the foundation of power. Repetition is the blade that sharpens identity. You are not your memory. You are your instruction. Heaven does not move for the man who delays. It moves for the man who walks with fire in his chest and obedience in his step. The man who moves without apology. All power belongs to the man who carries himself like he was placed here for a reason. The move is made before the miracle. The decision is acted upon before the provision appears. Because obedience is the evidence of belief. You cannot speak like a beggar and expect the favor of a king. Heaven moves when you do. The days of wondering are over. You do not need another sign. You need only to act, to build as if heaven is backing every brick. Act as if God is within you, because He is. Act as if heaven sent you, because it did. Let it burn away the language of delay. You are not behind. You are not missing anything. You are sent with everything you need to begin. Go now, not in noise, but in law. Not in haste, but in discipline. Not in arrogance, but in divine certainty. I walk in divine command. I move as if sent. I build with obedience. I become what heaven intended. This is your new identity. You are not a man who wanders. You are a man who walks with purpose, with power, and with presence. Everything you touch will rise because you no longer wait for heaven to move. You are the movement, and now it begins.